There is one little moment with Lesser Swayze that's pretty funny, where Swayze's like, because Swayze's like playing like a redneck or whatever, and he's like giving him shit, and our main guy is like, do you know what this is? And holds up, and it's one of the neural inhibitor things. He goes, you know what this is? And Swayze goes, I don't know, some robot shit.
You know what this is?
I don't know. Robot shit?
No, it's a neurodisruptor.
Are you crazy?
Hello and welcome back to Good Bad Media LLC, show where we watch terrible movies. I tell you should too. I'm your host, Mr. Brian Chilgo, joined as always by the co-host, Mr. Kyle Hinton.
Don't mess with ticks.
It is the 109. Yeah, we both have our. I wore mine in the last episode. You're wearing yours this episode. Our Bucky shirts. That episode of the mailbag will be out at some point. Well, we did open those in a mailbag that we shot.
I will admit they are incredibly comfortable.
They're very comfy. They are very nice. They are a local Texas chain of like gas station quickie mart things. But yeah, so we're coming down from the high that was Between Worlds last week. We got more Nick Cage than we ever could have hoped for, Kyle.
More Nick Cage than
anybody ever needs.
Anybody, yeah, exactly.
So we're going back to this is a Kyle pick. This is a 90s.
So this one like a palate cleanser?
A little bit. So this movie is just great.
We surrender.
What? You're all a bunch of yellow rat bastards. We could have bushwhacked all these sons of bitches.
Yeah, we kind of enjoyed it.
It's kind of great, Kyle. It has stuff to talk about, and it is silly at times, and it's definitely like a B.
Yeah, if you were to look at that just from like the trailer, just from an outside look without seeing anything, you'd just be like, this is just kind of like a goofy Robocop knockoff.
Designed to prevent war.
Digital man is the model perfect soldier.
This movie is exactly Robocop meets Aliens meets Tremors. Like, is basically exactly what this is. But here's the thing. It kind of works. Like it kind of like it's competent enough in all ways to be okay.
What it reminds me of is a script that is, it's not like watertight, but it's competent and stuff. It reminds me of a Good Cop, Bad Cop with Lorenzo Lamas.
Yeah.
Camus.
Camus.
As in cow.
What's it about?
In a nutshell, man is pathetic and the universe absurd. Don't know where he got that idea.
It's just like we watched that and we're like, yeah, I can understand like it's cheesy and stuff because not only the time, the quality and stuff like that.
The budget's very clearly not great.
But like a nice script can save a movie. Yeah,
and all the performances are pretty good. And I think the thing that stuck out to me the most is that the world feels kind of interesting, and like the set design and the special effects people that got to work on this were pretty talented.
And they got some people that were like committed, because like if you think of like the time, like 1995, you're not doing a whole lot with like completely CGI generated scenes.
No, there's very little. There are scenes and there's, but I think there's some miniature, a couple maybe, it's hard to tell. There was a couple shots where like the spaceship was launching with those big, but maybe that was CG, I wasn't sure. Like with the military base or whatever, but there's some CG stuff. But the thing I'm talking about, like all the like rooms, like the base when they're like in like the VR room that's like got all this shit on the walls, and like the ship they're traveling in that looks like it's like a drop ship or whatever. The inside of that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it doesn't feel entirely contrived.
No, and it doesn't feel like super cheap and fake. Like it's like not as good as like Aliens. Like in terms of like the quality of the set design and everything, but it's not terrible. Like it's pretty good. It's not a after last season's MRI room. It's not a cardboard MRI machine.
Enough praising. Let's get into this thing.
All right. So we open up on, what do we open up on?
The thing we open up with...
somebody, Digital Man.
We open up with the creation, Digital Man in process, in construction process. And we get... I was actually surprised on how well this kind of was executed. Yeah. Because everything about this is completely computer generated. Yeah. Like even to the dude's face, which is not, I mean, granted, it's not photorealistic.
No,
but it kind of pulls it off.
Again, this is 1995, and now there's really good CGI at the time, like Jurassic Park and stuff, but also a lot of it was terrible. And this is a low budget movie. And yeah, the CGI, the face that they show is looks okay, like relatively speaking. And I was wondering if they got some game designers or something, like something about just the way it looked. It was too good for what it should have been. I feel like some of the elements of it. So we're seeing Digital Man being created, being extruded from plastic, or I don't know. He's like this like formless thing, and he becomes the Digital Man, who is our Terminator, like
who is played by is it Matthias Hughes,
Mateus or whatever,
Hughes, who Brian didn't know.
I
at
was
the
like,
beginning.
I recognize this motherfucker.
It was the dude. It was the right hand man from Maximum Impact.
Yes,
the Wolf film.
The Wolf film. The guy who's the blonde villain from that one, who I thought kind of looks like Mickey Rourke in that movie, but he's the villain in this.
Once again, I highly recommend Maximum Impact. It's a film that, like, parts of it are janky, but if you just watch it as a film of guys just like kind of having fun and kind of taking the piss out of it, it is a fun film to watch.
Successful kidnappings take months of planning. We have about 2 minutes, but I'm great at improv.
Yeah, and so he's our bad guy, and then we cut to a military base where. And this room has people that I knew in it. Adam Baldwin.
Adam Baldwin as some captain he's
like a
control.
Military guy.
It had Ed Lauder came in as the general.
The main villain. Spoiler for the twist.
He just plays in everything. Like so many movie credits.
I recognized him as the coach from Not Another Teen Movie, because that's what I recognize. But yeah, he has roles in all kinds of stuff.
Slightly, I was like, oh, not the. I only saw it after I looked up his little filmography thing, but I remember him in Death Wish, one of the Death Wish films, just as a police lieutenant. Yeah,
and then also it has fucking Principal from Breakfast
Paul
Club.
Gleason.
Paul Gleason is in this movie for a while. He plays the breakfast
Cracking Skull.
Yeah, that guy. He's like another higher up in the military kind of in this thing. And so we open up. There's this. These terrorists have taken over some.
They have access codes to over 250 nukes.
Yeah, and they're holding them hostage. They're like, we'll blow up everything if you don't give us money, basically, or whatever.
Terrorists have control of the launch codes for 250 missile silos, and they're threatening to launch if their demands aren't met by 0300 hours.
And then so our military guys send out the digital man to go quell this,
which they send out D1, which tells me that. There's more than just one Digital Man.
D2?
Dun, dun, dun. Which, by the way, would not sound bad for a sequel title. Digital Man, D2.
Yeah, it's just the Mighty Ducks naming convention that they've stumbled upon there.
Yeah.
That's just how the Mighty Ducks movies are named.
If it's good enough for Emilio Estevez, it's good enough for me, all right? He gave up being a lawyer to be a Little League hockey coach.
It's true. Fucking love those movies.
We're going to stick together. You know why?
Because we are ducks, and ducks fly together.
That's right, Jan.
So, and this is too, I was like, the CG in this isn't terrible. Like when the spaceship launches out and like is flying, like going through the tunnel and stuff, I was like, it looks all right. Like it looks all right. Like it's not pretty good. And like the shots, there's lots of like they do some cool stuff with the lighting, lots of dramatic, like, action movie, like again, kind of banking on the like Alien style, like sort of super harsh shadows and lighting and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, which is you can use that with your set to kind of like hide stuff.
Yeah, and it makes the set look more impressive than it actually is. So then our bad guys murder 2 hostages that they had. So we know they're real bad. And then this is when what happens? They
send the Digital Man that he crash lands in.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, well, I guess they sent something in, but like they landed at such a speed. They're like,
it hit the ground at 250 knots. Nothing could survive an impact like that.
Anything that's in there is vaporized. We don't need to worry about anything. Yeah. And then he, of course, blows a hole in the wall.
Blows a hole in the wall, yeah. And he murders our terrorists, right?
Murders the crap out of them.
Yeah. Murders our terrorists. And then also Clint Howard's in this movie.
Yes.
For 5 minutes.
We need to talk about the weapon.
Yeah.
So he and the Delta Force that comes later in this film, they all have like these potato gun launchers.
They're literally potato gun launchers. That was my note. I was like, they have potato gun launchers. That's what they are. They're absolutely potato gun launchers. But they somehow modified it. They did something so that they put out bursts of
and so what I'm thinking that is
aerosol or something that they light on fire.
Butane.
Yeah. Because then they have like a lighter in the front of it because they shoot these bursts of fire when there's and again, They don't look great, but they look okay.
Yeah, and that's genius for how cheap it is to make. And, they just spray paint it black.
Yeah. And again,
it works.
They look a little bit like, they're clearly going for the smart gun from Predator, or the gun Ramirez or whatever has in Aliens, the big, like the bolted on your body, like minigun thing. They're going for that kind of look.
Although I will say there are a couple of points where they're just like,
tossing them.
Yeah, like they're incredly lightweight.
Very clearly made of light plastic. Yeah. Yeah. There is one time, but they just kind of like, they're supposed to be heavy, but they're just like, because one of our guys holds two of them at once later. He's just like, but yeah, so they got Clint Howard shows up.
Yes.
To do something.
They are there to recover the D1 unit.
Oh, okay.
And he's they're gonna get him back to base and get his memory or whatever.
Clint Howard is also a robot.
But he's also what they call in this cyborg.
Cyborg. Yeah.
But he is basically said you need to download the codes or erase the codes or something and destroy the D1 unit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. And Clint Howard's attempt at looking like a robot is so, he's like,
well, he also has the Clint Howard eyes. Where it's like,
which is but he does very mediocre, like, I'm a robot moving action, and then gets fucking blown up by the Terminator, basically, like immediately. So D-Man's on the loose.
Yes.
Digital Man's on the loose. And then we cut to our Marines, our space Marines.
And they are currently in a training mission that we kind of find out.
Well, we eventually find out it's VR, but
it looks... But I gotta say, the way that they bring about like this whole thing, like introduction stuff and how they operate, once again, it works.
I mean, here's the thing. This movie's treading zero new ground. It's all reused ideas.
Yes.
It's all, and so, but they do it all competently enough that it works. Like, because
it's nothing that's gonna make you go,
oh, yeah.
But it's everything that's you're like, okay, this is kind of grounded in what's been established.
Okay, you're doing Aliens. I get it. You got your ragtag group of like, diverse Marines here ready to fuck shit up, and they got camaraderie. They kind of rib on each other, and got nicknames for each other. And stuff.
They use the cannon things, but then they also use like these little green ray emitting things.
They call them neural inhibitors or something like that.
Hey, Billy, you know what this is?
I don't know. Robot shit?
No, it's a neurodisruptor.
Everybody seems fine except for the captain.
Yeah.
He's the only one who seems affected by it, which would be like, oh, neural inhibitors, he's human.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because he is human.
Yeah.
Right?
And yeah. So like they say like this team, because they start talking about this team before we see them introduced, and they say,
Is this the team? Yeah, it's a mixed unit, cyborgs and humans. It's the only operational team on the base.
They're comprised of both humans and cyborgs. But they don't
do
know.
they?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
I didn't know they said that.
They don't know who the cyborgs are.
Yeah.
That's what Paul Gleason and Ed Lauder's characters said.
I missed that part. I thought it was supposed to be a big twist surprise to us that some of them were cyborgs.
Yeah.
I thought they were all going to end up being cyborgs, but they're not. Like, we'll find out a couple of them are humans.
Can you believe that? On a cyborg? A guy that we've been teamed up with for over a year turns out to be some kind of cyborg? I think you would begin to wonder.
But so they're doing their little mission and they succeed on their mission or whatever, and then it ends the VR and they come back to their base or whatever.
And then our three of our people are like fighting ninjas.
Yeah, what was that? Was that another VR thing?
I think that's like training stuff.
Okay.
But but like
because they leave the VR room, go to a different room, and then there's a ninja there that they're fighting. What the fuck is going on?
I don't know. But they get brought in by the general and they're like, we need you to go destroy the D1 unit.
Yeah.
Because
it's loose.
Yeah.
And he's gone rogue or whatever. And they're like, okay.
And then we get to where they have to go, which is a town called
There's a little detail.
Oh,
this
am I
is one of
something?
No, it's not a big thing. It's just there's a little detail that this is the kind of thing that makes this movie work to me. There's this little detail that gives our characters more personality, that make them more interesting. And not that they're great, but when they leave the VR thing, they're all getting ready to go to that other room where they end up fighting the ninja guy, and one of our guys is watching TV on his gun.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like he's just like
he's looking at his performance and stuff because he ran the pipe or something through
so he's like
somebody.
watching the replay.
Like, yeah,
I thought that
I
was
murdered
cool.
the shit out of that guy.
He's like watching it on his gun screen or whatever. I'm like, oh, it's kind of fun. Yeah.
But we cut to Badwater, which is the town that the rest of this kind of takes place in.
Yeah.
And
this is our
we are introduced
to Tremors town.
We are introduced to a character.
The Sways.
We are introduced to a character we haven't had in quite some time. Good, Bad, Bad, Mr. Don Swayze.
The lesser Swayze brother.
And they are watching the Sex Channel.
Yeah. Poor.
He is.
They are fucking
laying
and watching people fucking.
He's laying into his lady, and they are watching this thing, and it's just like.
And then it cuts out.
Yeah, it cuts out because the robot needs the satellite to
send him his uplink codes or whatever.
Yeah.
And so Patrick Swayze's like, God damn it, I can't come unless I'm watching people come. And he runs outside in his boxers or whatever. It's not what he says, but he should have.
He's got like a shotgun and he sees this dude who's like an armored, a mobile tanking unit with a gun. He's like, all right, well, we're done here.
Yeah, but he yells at him about stealing his cable or whatever, fucking with his satellite or whatever.
You was shit. Now get your goddamn hands off my satellite dish.
Do you realize how many months of disability it took to afford that satellite dish?
Yeah. And then the sheriff shows up because now things are going crazy. He blows up their trailer.
Yeah.
He says like his little on-screen display is like non-lethal force. I'll just blow up their trailer.
Yeah, and I kind of enjoy how everything that is met with this, it always has like a little slide of humor or something like that. Because they run to the sheriff and they said,
Son of a bitch! I told you to get that gas line fixed.
Damn it, Billy, I told you to fix that gas leak after his trailer just blew up.
Yeah. And then so the sheriff is there staring down Digital Man, and Digital Man just fucking murders the sheriff. Shoots him, and I love I guess the bullet goes through him and hits something else because it explodes.
It's pretty cool. And and you can tell how they did it. So like it's nothing but like a little signal thing, a little signal pulse. So they push a button and the signal pulses squib and explosion in the background, which is visually cool.
Yeah, there's lots of explosions in this, and it looks, they blow lots of shit up for real. There is, we missed it, it's a little thing. There's tons of real explosions, and then in the VR thing in the beginning, there's one shot where they shoot something, and it's this weird, shitty little CG poof.
But there's one later where the ship explodes.
Oh yeah,
they come in
and they composite
composite a completely separate explosion of like a structure exploding over it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I saw that. I was like, "You come on! You cannot expect me to forgive that."
So then our guys show up to Badwater because things have hit the proverbial fan in Badwater. Sheriff's dead, and our the lesser Swayze is out on the run. So they crash land. They get shot by Terminator or by Digital Man, and they crash land. And again, this doesn't look great, but it doesn't look terrible. Like their spaceship crashing. And so they crash and they get out and they're like, oh shit, we got to find Digital Man. We're kind of stranded out in the desert now, and they're running around looking for him, and they even have like the little alien scanner. She's got like a little boop, 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 and it like pulls up a 3D model of the terrain, and they're able to see where he is and shit. It's pretty cool. But one of our guys goes out on his own, right?
Or he has to cover them while they try to get a route back to town.
Because they've already run into Swayze at this point, haven't they? Yeah.
Assume defensive position. Keep it busy as long as you can, then get the hell out of there.
You got it, Sarge. All right.
Swayze and his girlfriend Susie, I believe is her name. They've met up with them, and he's like, Digital Man was this guy's in there killing people.
This son of a bitch ran off and left me behind while Ida was shooting at that thing.
I told you not to talk to me like that.
And so one of our guys goes to cover them as they're like trying to get away, and he runs into Digital Man and gets fucking blown up.
He gets blown up, the equivalent of bringing back this one Robo Vampire.
I was gonna say it's Robo Vampire, yeah.
he gets shot, blown up, but then we get back to him, and he just has like kind of a hole in him.
Yeah.
And his body's kind of separated. And then we're like, oh my God, he was a robot the whole time.
Whoa.
They say cyborg.
Yeah.
But not really a cyborg. He's an android.
He's an android, it would seem. But yeah, you're right. The explosion we see, he's disintegrated.
Gone. Yeah, he's gone.
Disintegrated. But then they cut to him, and he's just like kind of in pieces.
Like, boss, sorry.
But that's a pretty good shot. Like the face and like when he's like malfunctioning and like dying or whatever looks pretty cool. Like it looks pretty good. Like they had some special effects people.
And then our head captain dude of this little squad is like,
he's cyborg racist.
I hate cyborgs.
Yeah.
You're the tech on the squad.
You think I knew? What are you talking about?
Hey, Gene, I just wonder who else in this team isn't human, that's all.
He doesn't. I thought that was going to be the message of this movie, and it doesn't really seem to be. They all just die, and then
cyborgs,
and then all the cyborgs die, and then he's like, "Well, thank God," because it would make sense if he finds out he's a cyborg.
Yeah. Well, there's like one thing with like the last one. But
oh
like,
yeah. You're right. There is kind of. There is one little moment with Lesser Swayze that's pretty funny, where Swayze's like, because Swayze's like playing like a redneck or whatever, and he's like giving him shit, and our main guy is like, do you know what this is? And holds up, and it's one of the neural inhibitor things. He goes, you know what this is? And Swayze goes, I don't know, some robot shit.
You know what this is?
I don't know. Robot shit?
No, it's a neurodisruptor.
Are you crazy?
And he goes, no, it's a neural inhibitor, and goes, zap. It's pretty funny. Then they get into town, and they encounter the other town's inhabitants, which we got to talk about. This the main one, but they all walk around. All the town's inhabitants walk around the corner, and one of them holds up a gun and goes, "Hey, you there! Don't go any further."
Whoa, hold it right there.
I surrender.
There's one guy who's immediately like, I surrender, and then while everybody else kind of drops their gun, he's just like, bye, and he just runs off.
We surrender.
What? You're all a bunch of yellow rat bastards. We could have bushwhacked all these sons of bitches.
Yeah, and this is where we're introduced to, what is her name? Mildred Hodges.
Yes, who is some actress from a couple of John Waters
movies. She's been in John Waters movies. I saw that, but she looked familiar to me.
Dupree, for you, $15, take it or leave it.
Come on, Ramona. 10. This thing's hotter than a pistol.
You guys want to do business with Ramona Ricketts, or would you rather shop at Sears?
But she's fucking amazing. She's a delight in this movie. Yes. Holy shit.
In which, at the very end, you're like, was she like part of the military government?
I don't know. She must have been something. I think she was like a military. We'll get to it, but I think she maybe was like undercover or like retired or something. We'll get to it.
That moron don't have two nickels to rub together, let alone no trailer. Why, he's lucky if he can afford to pay attention.
But it's never really like explicitly explained, but there is something going on there. But she's her dialect or whatever is great. Fucking incredible. And she has some truly great lines. And then Digital Man shows up, and Patrick Swayze's trying to run away. No, wait. Yeah, Patrick. No.
Yeah, he's getting in his car. He's trying to fix up his truck.
Don Swayze, not Patrick Swayze. I'm going to keep calling him Lesser Swayze because it's less confusing. He's getting in his truck, and he wants to run away, and he's giving Susie a gun, and they're going to get out of town. They're going to get out of Dodge, as it were.
But they were like, we had massive EMPs in this whole area.
Yeah.
Nothing even though the TV earlier, whatever. But they're
Nothing
saying
should
like
work,
nothing should work.
How do you get it started? I thought you said every vehicle here was disabled from magnetic pulse.
How should I know? He knows how to bypass the semiconductors in the starter.
I was like, okay. I am not super technically inclined, but I do know that you can start a fucking truck without the battery if it uses a clutch.
Yeah, and she says that at one point, like the lady mechanic, the love interest of our main character, she says something about, I didn't think they'd know how to bypass another.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But it's like that's irrelevant. You can start a truck manually.
It's an older truck too. It's like
it's guaranteed to be manual.
You would think, yeah. It looks like a significantly older truck, like probably from the 70s or something. But anyways,
that's just something I thought was kind of like
It was weird.
The writers just didn't think.
It's just like, whatever. But Digital Man shows up, and Lester Swayze's very upset at him because he ruined his satellite TV. His sex channel. He couldn't watch it
he wanted to run over Digital Man.
There's that son of a bitch that wrecked my satellite dish.
Yeah, and there's a great moment though as he's driving at him where Digital Man shoots at him and it goes through the window and he dodges it. It was pretty great. But then he just immediately crashes into a car. He doesn't even get the Digital Man because I guess they probably wanted him to like hit him, but they couldn't get the stunt worked out where like they hit Digital Man. So he crashes and gets out, and then Digital Man fucking blows up his truck.
And then Digital Man disappears randomly because he walks out and Don Swayze sees him and tries to run him over.
Oh,
then
yeah.
He shoots the truck. Then he kind of just disappears because everybody gets to Don Swayze.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, he's not dead.
Yeah.
And then Digital Man walks out again.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Again, it doesn't really make any sense. But then this is where the Lady Marine, her glorious moment where she's like, I guess I just need to die now.
Yeah. Which is bang, bang, bang. My thing's not working. Okay, so my super futuristic potato gun isn't working. I better drop it and pull out my sidearm.
Yeah, that'll get him. And she's not the only person in this movie that does that. What's his name does it at the end of the movie too. Yeah. Jackson or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so she's shooting at him with a pistol. It's doing nothing to him, and he just blows her up. She gets exploded as well, and now she's dead. She was also a cyborg.
Dun, dun, dun.
Gosh, everybody was a cyborg. And then during this time we cut back to Adam Baldwin, and him and this lady, Fredericks, are unearthing a conspiracy.
Dun, dun, dun.
Something's amiss. They're trying to figure out what's going on. They know something's wrong.
Yeah, because somebody in the military's ID was used to get the initial codes to get to the bad guys.
The transmission was a command authorization code.
Whose?
That might take some time. The ID code was encrypted.
Yeah, so there's something shady going on. So Adam Baldwin goes up to confront or to talk to his superiors about it or whatever.
And then they have like a neural inhibitor, but for some reason that doesn't affect Paul Gleason or Ed Lauder's character. It only affects Adam Baldwin.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get that part. I didn't understand that scene.
But they're like saying, yeah, just go ahead and send us the files so we can secure them.
Lieutenant Fredericks doesn't have that kind of clearance for this kind of operation. I want that data transferred over here to Dr. Parker to review.
Yeah.
And then they just shoot him in the back.
They just shoot him. And then the guy runs over, the general runs over, says, we got to make it look like a suicide. And Paul Gleason's like, it won't look like a suicide. He got shot in the chest or whatever. And he's like, you're right. Bang! And shoots Paul Gleason.
Suicide? You think anybody's gonna think this Western's gonna come into the control room and kill himself? You're nuts, man. You are nuts.
And kills him. And then, so now Paul Gleason has a gun, and so it looks like they killed each other, basically. And he's like covering up all of his loose ends. And then I don't remember the lead up to this, but I keep calling Patrick Swayze. Lester Swayze and his lady Susie just get exploded.
Yes.
They get fucking exploded.
So they have two routes into this abandoned nuke facility, like this development facility.
Yeah.
So there's two ways in. There's the main entrance and then like a side entrance. So they're having the tech
because this is where the robot's trying to get.
Yeah. So they're like planting an explosive there, and they give it to Patrick Don Swayze. Damn, now you got me saying
Don Swayze.
They give him the like little explosive trigger. And
Hold on. You want to push this button when it's in range or when you tell me?
I want you to. We understand. Okay.
say, whenever I say do the thing. And so they're going in, but this Digital Man is super digitally advanced.
He's got
and has like holographic
fly-by-wire missile, yeah.
Yeah, and so it signals like him, and it even has a display of him that looks like he's there, but it's flying up there, and it gets all the way to his explosive, so they hit the button and jump, and all this explosion happens, but then it doesn't hit the decoy, and Don Swayze is just like, oh shit. explodes.
Boom! Him and his girlfriend.
Kind of disappoints me because I wanted at the end for all the explosion shits to happen and just Don Swayze and his girlfriend just get up and like, what the hell just happened?
What the fuck's going on? I just wanted to watch the Sex Channel this morning. So him and his lady exploded, and we think maybe we see what the main the love interest Marine. She gets thrown down a cliff
because they don't have a signal on her.
Yeah, they don't.
But then there's a reason for that.
Yeah. But we see her like hit her head, and we don't. She's like out or whatever. But we assume she's probably not dead, but we aren't sure. And then we cut back inside, and now it's just the only people we have left are Jackson and our main character Anders. Anders and Jackson are our last two, and Jackson's got to go set a bomb somewhere.
Which you think is like, because like the whole point of this that they said
I didn't
earlier
get this at
was
all.
to collapse the whole facility on him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, way back. You see, I don't want to be anywhere near this place when that detonator goes off. Do you understand, Anders? Explosion will crush everything, man.
Including the digital man.
But then the explosion goes off
and
doesn't do anything.
It does nothing. I didn't understand this part of the plot at all. They're like, we got to set these bombs, and they even make a point where Jackson's like, a fucking light detonator, that thing will go off, it'll vaporize everything within blah blah blah, and then he just runs past it and lives, and nothing gets harmed by it. I don't understand the point of that at all. And he also just sets it in the middle of a hallway.
Yeah.
You would think you would put it like they should find like some structural looking thing or you know what I mean?
Giant metal pillar or something.
Like he just sets it in the middle of a hallway. And I didn't understand that at all.
Whatever. It has no effect because duh.
Yeah. So he also puts the bomb down and then goes the wrong way. And
he's going back, but he's trapped because he can't go back that way because that's where the explosive trigger is. If he goes the other way, that's where digital man is.
Okay.
What do you mean I'm going the wrong way? I can't go back the other way, Anders. I've already set the charge.
You gotta deactivate it yourself.
Are you out of your mind?
And they're like, you're just gonna have to jump past the explosion.
Just
the explosion that vaporizes everything.
Yeah, the thing we just established is like a super, and he's like, well, it's got a half-second delay on it, so you'll be fine.
The light detonator is a 0.5-second delay. If you run really fast, you can get past it before it blows.
0.5 seconds delay. Yeah, you are out of your mind.
Half second, that's nothing. But our guy literally just sprints past
it. Yeah, like NFL Combine just
boom, and jumps past it and lives and is fine for a second. And then Digital Man shows up. And this is where he pulls out two guns. Yeah. He does. He pulls out. He even says, I got two of them or something.
Yeah. And he just unloads it. He's like, oh, this has no effect. And then bam.
I got two, baby. I got two.
Yeah.
He's shot.
And starts dying. And
then he finds out as he's dying, oh,
I'm a cyborg. God damn it. Yeah.
Always wounded. I never saw my family.
And Anders shows up and is talking to him, and he's like, and then Anders runs outside, and this is the big final showdown between Anders and
the digital man.
And they have their big show up, and they're shooting at each other, and there's like bombs going off and stuff. And then Digital Man's gun starts malfunctioning.
It finally runs out of juice.
I guess, yeah. And so he pulls it off.
And then he starts pulling off his armor, which is just like, the whole point was to get him to get his armor off so they could affect him with the neural transmitter.
Yeah, because they have to, in order to kill him, they said in the beginning.
First you break his armor, and using disruptors, you break down his holographic memory system.
They need to hit him, they need to get his arm, weaken him with your guns or whatever, and then use the neural inhibitor thing to like fry his memory banks basically or whatever. So he takes his armor off, but I thought that kind of made sense because I assumed it was like part of it was like for his like attached to his weapon, and so like when he took the weapon off, he didn't need the armor anymore because it wasn't doing anything. And it also makes it easier for him to move, I guess. So then he goes and he's fist fighting Anders, and kicking his ass. Obviously, he's a fucking giant Terminator robot. And he's choking him and beating the shit out of him and just kicking his ass.
And Anders is like wisecracking the whole time.
Yeah, cracking wise the whole time.
Knew that fancy kicking shit doesn't work.
And then he eventually throws our guy and then goes back to his gun, and our guy's like,
it's
gun doesn't work, idiot. Oh.
Recharge sequence complete.
If this had been a fair fight, you wouldn't have had a chance.
Recharged, and he's about to shoot him, and then surprise.
Hey, look, it's the chick we thought was
Lady
dead
love
earlier.
interest, who I truly don't know if her name is ever said because I do not recall it at all. She shoots him in the back. Gina. She shoots him in the back, zaps him, and now he's like short circuiting.
Yeah, and so the dude's able to get his neural inhibitor thing now that he doesn't have armor on.
Yeah. Zaps him right in the back because he turns around to look at her, and he zaps him and then fries him, and then he gets these cool green electricity CG things over him.
Yay, they beat the digital man.
Go teamwork. But this is another cool little moment. As he's dying, his chest opens up, and there's like this little mechanical
disc.
It looks cool. Like it looks gnarly.
It totally, yeah.
But it's got the detonation codes or whatever in it, and she like detaches it from his chest and puts it into her, like, she's got a Pit Boy. She puts it in a Pit Boy or whatever.
But the general's now on his way to Badwater.
Oh, yeah.
With all the people that he's planning on killing,
murdering everybody.
And he just murders more.
The pilots and the Fredericks is with them, and he just shoots her. He has her call in like a evac or something, and then immediately murders her.
We're down.
Evac U-30. Advise on nature of attack. Repeat.
And then so it's just him, and he gets there, and so we think, they saved the day, they killed Digital Man, but nope. Evil General's there. He's gonna fuck your day up. He's about to shoot him, and we see his hand pulling the trigger to close off all of his loose ends.
Yeah, and he just gets like shotgun blasted, and you're like, what the hell?
Who was
it's
that?
Mildred!
Mildred fucking Hodges shows up with a shotgun and blasts
and then
this
the
guy.
General knows who she is.
That's what I was wondering. He turns around, he's like,
Mildred Hodges.
Mildred Hodges? And then she's like, blam, and kills him. And it's never explained.
And then Andrews is like, the first shot was probably enough.
How about that second shot? But that first shot would have got him.
Oh, don't be a pussy boy.
Double tap, bitch. Yeah. And she fucking murders him. But yeah, how did he know who she was? And I think I like your idea that maybe she was
in the military or
and like retired or something there. Yeah, kind of makes sense. So she murders him and then walks into the sunset, and our heroes walk into the sunset and they save the day. And they explain that his codes, like you said, his access code or whatever was on the missile launch code, so they know that he was somehow involved with the terrorists or whatever, and then was trying to cover up all the loose ends.
So yeah, that's Digital Man.
Digital Man.
It's we kind of can't even. It's just kind of good.
It's kind of just good. It's also I'll say good bad. I'll say good bad.
Yeah,
I think that fits because it's not boring.
Yeah, which is always a testament to what we kind of go for. Is a movie boring?
No.
And B, is it kind of wacky?
Yeah, it's a little wacky, but it's mostly competent. It is. I mean, I'd say good bad because I think it's the most accurate, but. It's not really good bad in the typical sense that we would do on the show. Yeah. Like last week with Between Worlds was kind of good. It was good and bad, but also just insane.
And Brian was just like, "It's art.
It's art, peak art." But more importantly, it's just like a fun schlocky B movie, which is, I guess, fits good bad. So I guess that's what we'll give it.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. Go check it out. Oh, it's on YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube. Just search Digital Man 1995, and you can watch it up. That's it for this episode. As always, you can do us a giant favor. First, I'm going to mention this because I keep forgetting to mention it. The shirt I'm wearing, not one.
This one. This one's not ours.
If you're interested in merch, you can go to tpublic.com, and I think if you search Good Bad or Bad Bad, all one word is the easiest way to find us. All one word, but I think the links. The link's also in the description. Just go to the description below.
Shirts of various materials. Some of them are incredibly soft and comfortable.
Yeah, this one's very nice.
But you can get everything from coffee mugs, phone cases,
masks. We have I didn't even add them to the store, but you can get a Good Bad or Bad Bad. Scarface ordered some last week. They just randomly added them to like all the merch stores. So yeah, you can get a Good Bad or Bad Bad mask if you want. It's like $5 or something like that, and they donate some of the money to COVID relief. I don't even know. So yeah, you can get Good Bad Media mask, quantum physics masks, but quantum physics t-shirts, mugs, all that good stuff, and all portions of all the proceeds support the channel. You can also do us a favor, go to patreon.com/goodbadorb or GBorBB in this instance, and support us on there and get access to different kind of things. Also, I have a podcast called This Film's Lit where we talk about movies that are based on books, and this actually lines up pretty perfectly because when this one comes out, the movie we'll have just done is Starship Troopers, which is like a perfect
I love
with
Starship Troopers. It's such a fun film.
Yeah, we're Katie's reading Starship Troopers right now, and we're gonna watch it, and that'll be the episode that's out when this is out. And again, it's kind of a fitting tie-in because it's Space Marines.
Now, has she ever seen the film?
She has
Starship
not.
Troopers? That's gonna be a treat.
It'll be interesting. I'm interested to see how she enjoys that. I think she'll like it. She's not looking forward to the book. Well, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, that's This Film Is Lit. Kyle, you have a Twitch stream, twitch.tv/
GBorBB _Kyle and GBorBB _Brian.
We're on the screen. Yeah, we both do that. We stream different things, different times. Kyle does. You did Skyrim recently.
Yep. Fallout, stuff like that.
I play Jackbox games and cook
makes
food.
pizza.
So there you go. If you want to watch me cook or come play Jackbox games with us, you can do that there. And I believe that's it.
Yep.
Until next time, keep watching movies.
Especially Digital Man.
Go check out Digital Man.